Welcome to Beyond the Box.
Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you.
And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Hello, everybody.
Howdy, everybody.
I got a Ivy's in the chat tonight, so I have to figure out how to add her as a mod too. So how are you, Susie?
I'm okay. Just don't like all the cold and stuff. And my electricity went off twice, but it was only off for like half an hour each time. But it was kind of weird.
Mine did for a few hours.
Oh, okay.
But we have it rained all day yesterday. Then it started to freeze up last night. So all of our lines are kind of, they got the dripping icicles on it, which I think is kind of cool. And they threatened that it was supposed to start snowing. And
right.
It did. But before it even hit the ground, it was melted. And I was like, well, how much fun is this? Come on, man.
And I got maybe half an inch sitting on my truck, maybe a little bit here and there, kind of looking, so it was
not enough
light.
Snowballs and snowmen. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
None of that. None of that.
I hear if we go to Dallas or out in Fort Worth, they got quite a bit. So yeah. I might
Arkansas got a lot too. They got like inches and inches.
Yeah. I might have to go out there and go see cousin Jesse out there from Abe's show and go make the snowman in his front yard. It just sounds fun. Oh.
Right.
And Brett says it's snowing in Indiana. See, we don't get that much snow out here in Texas. So when we see it, we like it. We think it's pretty. And we're like, ooh, ah. Now, I will say this. Us people that have been in Texas long enough.
Now, I will say this.
We know. Did you got turned down? We know to stay off the roads because people who
are not snow drivers or bad drivers.
Right, are not snow drivers. And last year when it snowed, maybe it was a couple years ago when it snowed, there was somebody that took a minivan, was driving down 195 and parked that perfectly on a guardrail. And I thought to myself, they must have used the parking attendant. Because I bet they couldn't do that again if they tried. It was perfect.
Well, I grew up in Ohio, so we got snow studs in our tires, or you had chains if it got really bad, and people don't do that down here. So they're not really, because they don't really have enough snow every, might be every couple of years, 3 years, you might see a little snow or something.
Right.
So people just aren't really set up for that down here.
When you guys get started, I need to somehow go into my, when we have Doug come out, because we have Doug Phipps with us tonight. And so when they get started, I'm going to go into my YouTube thing so I can find Ivy's chat and then go ahead and add her as a mod also over here. She's come over and help us for a little bit. She goes back and forth. So. But she's from Abe's podcast. She's been modding for a while, so she knows what to look for. Because I got a threatening email today.
You got a threatening email?
Yes, from another one of those anonymous proton mail things about how they're going to come to my house and behead me. And I didn't even respond, because here's my response right here.
Jesus.
My response is, if you can get through my metal door, you might be okay, but come all the way in. That way, when I shoot you, your ass is not falling out the door. So, because I don't want to have to get out of bed and drag you back in the house. So,
Jeez.
it's and if I don't get you, there's a man in the other room that has an even bigger one. So, don't threaten me.
Backup for your backup, huh?
Yeah, I am not scared. Yeah, I got backup for my backup, and my backup's backup. So, but Putin is still the same. Hi, Elizabeth. He's laying down here on his bed on the floor next to my chair because he's got to be close to me. So apparently the bed's not close enough. So he's got to be on the floor with me. So, but okay, let's do our prayer and then we will get everybody out here.
All right. I asked the Father, the Most High, the most wonderful, the most beautiful, the most magnificent. I ask him to shed some light on what we're talking about today and to help guide and lead us. And because, we have Doug, who is a whistleblower, who's a very targeted individual and was a horse trainer. And he's trying to just do his horse thing and, raise his daughter. And he's up against all kinds of obstacles. And then, I asked John Carmen to come on the show because John Carmen was Secret Service and also a very targeted individual for being a whistleblower. So I thought, well, hey, these are like almost two same stories. And we know that our friend Mark went to Trump and gave a letter about Doug to help Doug. And then we've actually reached out, right? And we've asked to help John Carmen. So, things have been put out there, information is there. So, we're just wanting, Doug to tell his story and share with us, what he's up against and, and the things that he did for the country, and the things that he's having to go through because of it, So in Jesus' name, I ask for God to watch over and orchestrate and direct this show.
Yes. Jesus, take the wheel. Oh,
take the steering wheel or the reins.
All right, let's go ahead and get everybody out here. We got Andy's with us. Hi, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Mr. Quiet. And Steve, who is in the car. So
hi, Steve.
when Jason gets here, he's gonna love this. Thank you, Norma. And we've got John with us. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
That same guy is following Steve again.
Yeah. Lose him, Steve. Break out in some moves. and then we have poor Doug. He's got to put up with us clowns tonight. So come on in here, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hello. Bonjour. Ça va? Vegan.
Hey, Doug, get closer to the camera. We can't see you, man.
Well, maybe that's for my benefit. I don't know.
Yeah. Right?
No, I know.
That dark left corner.
Right?
The shadow man in the middle front.
There we
Yep.
go.
See,
Have you heard of a Steve Friend who's an FBI whistleblower? Anybody?
No.
He's getting a lot of airtime with Matt Getz on OAN Fox
Steve
News.
Friend? You said Steve Friend?
That's what his name is, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he's with Matt. What?
Yeah, Matt Getz is doing the stuff. He's not doing Congress stuff anymore. And
Yeah.
he didn't go through the Attorney General thing. I said, well, that's crazy. If I had my foot in that door, I'd be cleaning house all over the place. But
Well, that's one of the reasons why they went after him, because they knew.
I know how they set him up.
They go look at what they've done to Trump. They know exactly what's going to happen, so they are going to go after everybody as much as they can, no matter what they do, to defame them. I mean, look at you. Look at what they've done to Doug. You know,
Yeah,
and
I'm interested to hear how Doug is doing. You know.
yes. And by the way, Doug, yes. How have you been doing yourself? I mean, has everything been okay? Um,
Well, it's just hard to get any work or do a really good job or have, if you've got like muddy ground and footing and tough horses and a group that as soon as someone gives you a chance, makes sure and contacts them on the side and defames you and runs them away from you, and they're the same people after your child. And my little girl's 12 and attempted suicide, was life flighted to Boise last Saturday. I just had this weird feeling. I quit riding and just drove to Baker, and as I'm in Baker, she was in Boise. Over what
That's just not right. You know.
and it's the same fingers, the same family, the same people from when what I could prove. Brennan, people are going to handpick my homecoming. My dad murdered, sent to Baker City, Oregon. Hillary Clinton's Department of State stepped in. Then, of course, my dad's will got changed, murdered, sent to Baker. To the people that ran me away from the ex as the ex was getting on dope, and the guy that got her on dope and sold the dope and gave little girls dope for sex ended up being their star witness to get a restraining order on me. So if I try to show a horse, they'll drive 3 hours and stick their chest out, and the cops will arrest me in front of everybody. Why the last foster kid they had, these are the people that tried to send me little girls from the foster care program when I came home, and I'm the guy that said no. Hence there's more behind the Operation Braveheart indictment from Obama. My first 10 contacts with the police in Baker City were from the Central Intelligence Agency. So it's all the same people, the same hands, the same fists, that have had their hands around me since I came home, in one way or another.
so,
That's just
what has
crazy.
been going on with your daughter?
Well, see, when the sheriff's like Justos, who's the recording I think we had before where they were threatening to break my kneecaps, they decided I could have a dog. When I was in their backyard, they make sure you're penniless, you can work their horse for a place to live. Why they tell everyone you're nuts, stay away from you, same old, MK. Um, and so my little girl decided she was a dog running around town with a fake tail. I mean, it's been pretty messed up to being bullied by the horse kids in that town. I had to sell her horse, which would be the best thing for her. I had to sell it just to get out of the people fingers that were screwing with me, only to end up in, I think, one of their fingers to cover it up. It's kind of how that rolls when we're talking as 9/11's going on. A lot of people would be very upset that a bunch of people were taking over an industry like the horse industry and targeting them and their families and, you know,
Doug, for some of our listeners that have never heard you before, could you kind of give us a basic run
was
through
that
of
too much
your life and your
information?
experience? Yeah.
Yeah, the horse video I sent, I think the last one to your Facebook, Brenda, or both of you, is what I train horses. I grew up with the masters from the age of 5 and invented a whole different way of training. So that's the bend around the leg, one rein, two reins, head down, different hand weight, leg positions, moving different parts of the horse's body in perfect timing with their rhythm or energy, blah blah. Um, and as I was overseas in the Middle East stuff, so I went through MK Ultra, and as I ended up being the close American, the people that set up 9/11 in Germany, all the way through CIA rendition or Al Qaeda message, the days are pregnant, was the worldwide release of MRSA staph infection to Slovakia, during the Georgian War, where I think I sent you a couple screenshots of what also got me in trouble, warning about the worldwide release of diseases, them bringing their armies in, all the horrible crimes we've seen, rigging voting machines. I sent them a screenshot from at least 4 years before COVID, and all the rest from the decade before or 6 years before that, got erased. I had to take a screenshot to get proof of it. Am I just way too out there?
No, just keep sharing your story a little bit. It's just that people, may not know that you were a horse trainer and that what your life was like and what happened to you and why you're at where you're at
Upper
now.
middle class, one of the top horsemen on the planet. Very unusual way of riding the horse. That my rival trainers married the head of Special Warfare Navy, San Diego Swastika Base, the head of all Navy SEALs. His name is Steve Alberg. So they asked me to do a top secret mission in the middle of a hypnosis session. I said okay, and it's the whole Q operation, and I went overseas 9/11 to name your poison through the war on terror, through Slovakia during the Georgian War and home, and they put the hurt on me and my family, and have kept me in the backyard of the handpicked people by Brennan pretty much since.
So, so how is your daughter doing? Is she okay?
She's okay, and then she'll have a fit of anger, so I try to get her some karate lessons, and I think that would be good for her, but then she throws a fit and they don't take her, and so once once there's any stress, like the last time she was having a great time, and then the stepdad, rather than call me and ask if she was with me, which he knew she was, he sends the police to the hotel to make sure she's all right because she didn't check in or something, which caused her stress to freak out, and then she, that's the when I saw abuse before, that was the pattern. Not to get, they're fearful,
Yeah.
uptight. Then she takes it out on me.
And does she know the things that you've been through?
She's been conditioned by her granny, who was pretty much, I'm gonna say, the handler for the mom, because the mom grew up with this stuff, not me. I was 36 years old, the best in the world of what I did when I got shanghaied into this shit. I should have just been a world champion reining horse trainer. Uh, I'd
Right.
be one of the most famous in the world right now. Have all I wanted was a wife and family, for God's sake.
Right. So,
But pretty much the people that got a restraining order are the people that were handpicked by John Brennan, Hillary Clinton, and later were Team Obama, and that's Frank Wenzel's group, Baker City, Oregon. That's the Freemason house I showed you. That's his house. He's best friends with the head of Air Force for Obama. That was appointed by Obama, and those are the people that. There's another guy, but everywhere I went, I'd have trouble, or so Waitsburg, Washington, they would whip the horses and electrocute them after I got going, and they learned a bunch, depending on the con. The place here in Idaho, the con wasn't taking my way of training. It was to use me for a bait and switch, get all the people with money to come to them, and they could sell them all this crap for as much as they could. And they knew I wasn't going to show, because again, it's all the same fingers of the same fist.
right.
They knew, just promise, work real hard, and you'll show. And then oh, well, no, really, we're having our stall cleaner show the horses. I'm like, what? Well, they're supposed to be, they're my witnesses that these people with the restraining order, in the guy's own testimony hurt my kid. You know, um, they were the witness that these people were lying in court, which the judge knew. They didn't even show up for court one day. It should have just been thrown out. The other one, Debbie Kellogg, prison guard, hers got thrown out. You know, so it's kind of hard. I go to show, go down 3 hours, ends up being their best friends, the Joe Jones guy that is in the recording, and he was the one advertising and promoting me, pretending to be my best friend and be there to help me and my kid, while honestly, his best friends in Baker that got the restraining order on me are the foster care moms they were foster care moms that their foster care kid just was one of the young girls they sent to me for sex, and I said no, and ended up doing porn on her 18th birthday. That was really brutal, and lives in Las Vegas, and that's a place women sell their body. Not saying that's happening, but I think so. I mean, that's pretty ugly stuff.
Well,
That's
so
why mhm.
what are do you have any plans to, who all have you talked to about it? Tried to
Well,
see
I
if
can just
anybody.
try to get horses and see if there's a way to get to indoor arena and start getting the horses I got hauled and meet people and try to build a team that blows past what. But you see, these people run the horse shows. Like these people, the people that got, I won't say their names, where I was sent. Their best friend or their sister was Tony Minthorn that runs the Pendleton Roundup, the rodeo pageant thing. It's a pretty big deal. That's where Obama put me. That in Idaho, it was Parker's. Parker's in-laws was Imhoff's. Imhoff's the guy that set him up originally is Joe Jones. Joe Jones is best friend to the people that got the restraining order on me. So I hope, I'd hope someone arrests him. That's all. It's kind of my
Yeah,
hope.
right.
What's that?
So, John, did you have any questions?
Yeah,
For
I'm analyzing what Doug is talking about because I'm thinking these people don't normally do things out in the open, and when they do restraining orders, that's kind of a really weird thing. Now, your daughter's 12 right now.
Yeah, she's 12.
Is she hanging out with you, or is she somewhere else?
Oh no, I had to give up training horses and just be in this situation just so she'd know who I was.
Well, I mean, is she
She's
under your
been like,
protection?
oh no, I got nothing. I get to see her maybe one day a week. I got no rights
Okay,
to her.
so
I'm not even
who's
on her
actually
birth
got
certificate.
legal possession then? Legal
The
custody.
mom the mom that runs off half the time, the mom was raised in that MK stuff, and the stepdad that lets these people when he goes to the school, her first school things, the
Hmm.
people that got the restraining order had their arm around the stepdad. So I mean, there's some pretty they got me between the rock and a hard place.
No, I get it.
The
I'm an
foster
ex-cop
care
too, so I
program,
understand
the,
welfare
the
and institution
foster
stuff.
care Baker City, the foster care ones is Debbie Kellogg and the other people, the ones that tried to get the restraining order on me, that committed perjury, the prison guard, but she got it thrown away, or out, but her best friend didn't. They run the foster care moms in Baker City, Oregon. I mean, so what? They're going to get my kid. I mean, it's a pretty ugly situation, where
That's
if
what they do
people
in
knew the truth,
California with CPS.
I would have enough horses. I wouldn't be in this spot. I mean, if people knew I was that good of a horseman, that I invented a whole program, everyone's riding today, as these bitches kept me down as their bitch, and surrounded. It was pretty wicked stuff what I came home to. Highly illegal.
Is there an allegation pending?
I don't know anything. You know, the mom and stepdad, they won't tell me nothing. I
Well,
didn't
they've
even
got to
know
have a legal reason to have you separated. You get to see your daughter
once a
Yes,
week.
once a week. Hmm.
once a week. So they're in
Yeah,
custody of your daughter. You get to see her once a week. Can you
yeah.
make phone calls to her?
Not now because her phone broke and she put a TikTok video of her attempting suicide on last week.
There's something wrong with that right there, too, of course. But
So she did a TikTok video and took, I don't know, a ton of aspirin and was flighted to Boise.
have you done a welfare check on your daughter?
I do what I can. I can only,
You know what I just said, though. You understand the procedure.
well, these are, if the cops are the ones that want to take her and put her in their foster care program, and these are the very ones that, like I said, these are really bad people. You know,
No,
I
I
don't want her.
understand. I'm just
I
trying to
want her in
separate.
my right. I want her in my protection and
No, I
to be
get
in
that.
my
I'm just trying to
protection.
separate your case. There's a lot of other cases that may not be aware of where they have military detention camps for children. CPS is part of a thing where they capture and take children away from certain parents, including Florida. I think the Megan Walsh case was another example. But if they could find a legal reason, put you down as some category like you're using drugs or some other violence or some other category, then they can legally go in there, take the child away, and you still have to have a right to have access to your child unless they can prove that you're abusing or damaging her in some way. The legal system, how it works, right? But if they're not following those parameters, then there's other stuff behind the scenes. And you mentioned some very powerful names there. That's what concerns me because I've seen cases like this. And if they get involved like that, that document that's filed in a court in the county that you live, supposedly in the jurisdiction, is a public record, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay, that means anybody can get a copy of it. I wouldn't mind looking at or reviewing it if you had it with it.
The people that got the restraining order against me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't even want to say their name, so I'm
No,
not.
you don't have to. No, you don't
It's
have
a
to.
nationwide. I got it somewhere. I don't have it right here. I'd have to dig it up.
If you have it downloadable, maybe you could work with Brenda or Susie and send it
It's
as an
highly
attachment.
right. So these people got me in their best friend's hands and the same group's hands, right? And they're making sure I'm penniless, making sure I got to sell my daughter's horse to get out of there, and then they're going to go to the expo and be the big horse stars and sell all these horses and make all the money and like a flipping clown show.
No, I understand because I deal with people that are involved with horses, even up around certain other states like Colorado, Denver, Texas, Oklahoma. And this other person is a horse person for a long time, and they work for the government under agriculture. So it's sort of a side job connected to what they do. But I understand it because I grew up in it. But the way they're connecting these things, it sounds disjointed. They have to have a legal reason to take your daughter. They may even ask that you go to psychological review, and they may put her under psychological review as well, especially if she's had a recent attempt. And police reports need to be made against the other people because if she did put something recent and posted it, that's evidence that she's under duress. That's a welfare check. I would call the police in that area, tell them what's going on, that it was posted on the internet, and have them check in. And if they can check in, they can intercept her and take her out of their possession and take her to a neutral location.
Well, no, but see, where she needs to go is with me.
I just told you have to go through a procedure
I don't,
because you are a parent. Yeah.
Want her to go to
yeah, I'm ex-law enforcement. I'm telling you the procedure. You get an intervention by the police. They do a welfare check because she's already posted something about committing suicide. That's a warning signal right now. I would call the 911, report these people, get them to that address, and have her extricated immediately to another location.
Already that was last week. She already did her welfare check.
Oh,
Well, is she still at the same place, or did they put her in a neutral location?
Yeah, she's at the same place. I mean, it's the only way I can see her.
Well, you have to
What?
verify it through the police, but there's certain procedures. I mean, I used to do PI work too. I mean, I know this procedure stuff, and if they don't follow it, then they're doing something else. They have to tell you, unless they've got you doing some heinous crime, and they're
This
preventing you
was the
from having
sheriff.
access, and they would have you cut off permanently in court. You know.
It was the sheriff's crew that set this up. Sheriff Ash's prison guard is Debbie Kellogg, the hands that Brennan put me with. They even in the court documents, once they said John Brennan showed up, or no, the CIA for Brennan showed up and told us this and this and this, and he's dangerous and blah blah, and you
Okay,
know.
is that documented?
Well, somewhere I got the file, but all I got was some file of the entire day of the court and no way to open the damn thing. So
Well, no,
yeah,
I'm
somewhere
saying a very
in that
specific
file,
question here because if you've got it documented by what you just said, that they mentioned John Brennan, that people from Langley, Virginia, or wherever they're assigned to actually got involved in your case, that's a
yeah.
federal case now.
Right. This is right in the middle of the video I sent her. The last video is me training a horse for Carol Kitch, federal investigator to the Ruby Ridge shootings. They completely know it. The FBI agent Rebecca, that's what got me Joe and them showing up. Once I talked to FBI agent Rebecca and she said what they're doing with you is trafficking you, knowing always talking, are they letting you see your kid or not? Or oh, you can see her. I mean, I've got a relationship with her going back over a decade.
That's
Then
extortion,
after
what they're
that,
calling.
that's when this Joe guy shows up and this group that Brennan put me in the hands of. That's when all of them showed up. My car wheel gets cut. My ex, the mom, she's been put through some shit for this.
Oh,
The
wait a minute,
brakes go out on
have
the
you
truck.
actually met Brennan?
No,
Well, how do you know
but that's
Brennan set this up?
my original telephone call CIA on YouTube. That was Brennan's office. He was the head of the national intelligence at the time. And when I came home from rendition, I called the head of national intelligence, and I got a
It's not
recording
that
of
easy
that.
to just call the head of NDI.
What's that?
It's not easy to call the national director of national intelligence.
Right. So I got the CIA officer that was familiar with my case.
Did you get a name?
Because it's on the recording.
Well, that's why I'm
It
asking.
was on the
You don't have to say the
that
name.
was
I'm just
before,
asking if you got it documented with real names, because then you can have
somewhere.
it tracked, or somebody
Oh,
else
yeah.
could track it back.
So at the Baker City Dispatch, there's actual CIA agents' names going, being documented a lot, right as my ex was pregnant with my little kid, and then she was gonna abort it, but they wouldn't. So then she did dope, and that's where this court thing shows up, because their witness, Mark Hancock, was a guy in Haines, or little past Haines, between Haines and Ontario, kind of. He was the meth and the pot dealer that would get little girls hooked on dope for sex. And that's their star witness in court to get a restraining order on me, so I can't work or train horses, so I can get rights to my kid. I'm not a normal horseman. I mean, they made a Bible of horsemanship off my teachings.
Well, they're using your profile against you, is what that is. That's just extortion. That's what they're doing. I was going to ask if you're familiar with a guy that was a falconer, by the way.
No.
No falconers?
The only one I knew was so now we're going to my European mindset. Hubert Huell.
Well, this guy has a similar background from what I heard earlier. You ever heard of the name Alan Howell? Parrot? Parrot?
I have not.
His Middle Eastern Sikh name is like Hari Har Singh Khalsa. But he was a falconer, and he had similar contacts when he was in the Middle East, and he would help to intercept smuggled falcons and train them. And then the last 10 years, he went to work for a guy named Putin up in Russia. before he got into a
Yeah.
horrible accident where they crushed his back. So he's
Okay,
back in the
so
East Coast.
the international aspect of this is as they were crushing me in Melba, Idaho, that was at Imhoff's playing the game. We're helping you, we're promoting you as they put me on dinks and just destroyed me, but set up their trainers. They were, yeah, you know the MK Ultra gig, I'm sure. Um, I got a job offer to go to Hubert Huel in Canada. Hubert Huel's the royal family of Netherlands that I trained when I was in France at his castle in France, Domaine du Moulin, and verifiable. And the king of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed Maktoum Matai, would go there with his dad, and his dad and the king of Dubai were both falconers.
Okay, there you go.
Took me a while to
Well,
get to the falconer part, but
right.
they
Well,
put
that's just a guy that I just happen to know, and they pretty much destroyed him. But we could talk about that off record some other time. But I was kind of curious because I got contacts in Europe, and I was kind of curious if you did anything in England or France in particular.
Yeah. France was during Freedom Prize. I was the American horse trainer that was going through there doing clinics. So I was doing clinics for the head of anti-terror for France. Jacques Chirac's daughter rides reining horses. When I think the head of anti-terror for Belgium's daughter also started riding reining horses at the time. So that's when
That's
I
like
was
you
at
have to mention Lipizaners in this conversation somewhere.
no, that would be Palma de Mallorca, Spain, the Pure Race Español. That's
There
during
you go.
CI rendition. So actually, I guess Hubert's was right in between going through rendition. But Hubert was team, the King of Dubai, and that goes to Princess Haya. That's the Queen of Dubai, who's the princess of Jordan, and she's the head of the Olympic horse game worldwide.
I think
And I
that would be
trained
Hussein.
her best friend in Israel, Matayani Medaberi Lohako.
Uh-huh. Well, I understand you might speak a little extra languages there. Do you speak any Farsi?
No, the only word they
Aramaic?
taught me to say in Arabic was yalla, and I would go to a bunch of Muslims and go yalla, and it's right after 9/11. I got my cowboy hat on, and
Right.
because Bush and stuff, and you felt like pretty cocky and just
Well,
saying,
if you went
so you
to
go yalla.
Japan, I lived in Japan. You had cowboy boots, Levi's, and a cowboy hat. You're the hottest thing. They think you're Clint Eastwood or something. I don't know if you ever went to Japan or not. So
No, I did not have the
they train
pleasure of
horses
going
over
there.
there. I had experience with somebody else that did a lot of horses. A friend of mine named Steven Seagal also has an interest in horses as well. I don't know if you had any crossings with him or not.
No, but he's kind of the coolest guy ever. Seems like. I wish
I
I
like
could
him.
learn that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, he's
God,
pretty cool.
please teach me. Can he wear a disguise and go with me to Baker City?
No, not where he's at right now. He can't.
Doug, do you speak any Russian, Doug?
No, potom Dugam hovorish po slovensky.
Ah,
Later, Doug speaks Slovakian, and then I go, not, and they don't look at me old because I didn't want to learn Slovakian. Meine Deutsch ist gut genug, yeah. My German was good
Yeah.
enough.
Java Slubulu.
Nachmal, deine Army accent is can ich so viel hören.
well, I wanted to move to Russia, so I
And
guess
again,
I
I
can
can
get
hear-
used to this.
Yeah, you got to get used to it. Dobre utro, dobre vetro, do svidania.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
That sounded like Italian.
I don't know, but you guys better stop this stuff because you got my poor little one up
Arrivederci,
walking
that's
around.
Italian.
He's Putin's trying to figure out who's talking to him, and you guys got him up wandering around. So he's hurt. He's supposed to be laying down, so knock that off.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I know.
use it, you lose it. But in Germany or Slovakia at the end, I could pretty much do 3 different dialects of German. You know, because there's High German and the way they speak it more in the South, or the Schweizerdeutsch ist ganz gleich ist das, yeah. It's
Oh
more a
yeah.
happy sounding
Or
German.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's Austrian.
Österreichdeutsch ist schwierig Sprachen.
Yeah. They have a Facebook reel, and they had some German guy, so I followed it just for a while. The way he pronounces the words is kind of more interesting, because Americans might mispronounce it, like you might pick up another language, and I speak several languages, but you got to say it a certain way. But it's kind of fun because they say it differently. Yeah, you know, it's just the inflections. But,
And Austria, they have their own little dialect. So I train horses for the ambassador of Austria.
well, how
Or
far
well,
back?
someone let's wait. During CIA rendition, let's just say that it didn't matter how many. Okay, how's this? We're drunk out of our minds. We can't stand up. There's me and like 4 really hot chicks, and the cop pulls us over, and they're freaking out, and they ask, "Where are you going?" And I tell them where I'm going. They say, "No problems. We help you, amigo." And they flipping.
Sorry,
Right.
guys.
Mexico?
If I've seen a
Sounds
little,
like the real deal, right?
sorry if I've been a little detached, guys. I've been
You're
The
going
you're
through
good.
Sabenzi.
this thing, trying to. No, I'm trying to add mods to the show, and it took me a little while to figure it out because I'm computer stupid. So I had to make sure I got it right.
Doug, do you
Yes.
speak any Israeli language? You speak
Hebrew.
Hebrew?
I can speak some Hebrew if you want.
Arabic?
There you go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey,
Indeed,
That was a joke.
I know one word in Arabic, and I know all the bad words in Spanish. And
Which
the one
one?
word in Arabic is bad because I used to date an Arab years ago when I was in California, and his uncle came in and didn't like that I sat down on the couch and put my feet up and turned on the TV, and he called me a shamuta, which
Shamuta.
apparently means bitch, and out there in that country, bitch means whore, and I went off. I knew what he said, and I went off. I mean, ashtrays were flying. It was not a pretty sight. It was not pretty. The 2 boys had to take me and go put me and lock me in the room until he left.
You should have told him something in Japanese.
I don't know anything in Japanese,
Say
although
"Oku tameru." It's kind of like eat something and die, but that's just the vernacular thing.
thank you, Ivy. But yeah, I mean, it was hilarious. I was like, "What's he gonna do? Kill me here?" And I do remember the phrase was, this is America, go ride back off on the camel you came in on." I do believe that came out of my
Not
mouth.
the horse, the camel, right?
That's right. That's right.
No,
Although
that's
the
a
That
guys
must
good
have
one.
thought
been
it was
pre-Obama.
yeah, actually it was way
It was
pre-Obama.
prophetic.
It was way pre-Obama.
Mm.
But they were really cool. The guy that I dated and his cousins, they shared this apartment, and they liked it here. And unfortunately, the guy I was with was in an arranged marriage, and he had to go home. He went for a vacation one time, and I said, "Oh my God, I've always wanted to go there. I should go with you." And his cousin goes, "Oh no, they'll kill you." I'm like, "Oh really?" And I just laughed. I was like, "Well, that ain't right. They don't even know me. At least they should get to know me first before they stone me." I mean,
You have to
come
wear
on.
a burqa.
Yeah.
Different world over there. Yeah.
But they really liked it out here, and they were real fun. They were guys. But yeah, I often thought about taking up other languages, and I think Russia was the farthest from my mind till I got this dog. but he does good with English now. He does. He still doesn't quite understand "come here." I have to do funny things to get him to motion him over.
No, you got to go German. Come and see here. Come and see here.
He does no German. He does not know. Now German, I do kind of understand because my grandmother used to speak it. But
Putin in Russia knows German. He speaks German at his house.
Well, I don't have that.
Oh,
Putin
the real
sitting on my
Putin?
bed.
Yeah. That's why.
I mean-
that's why I said that, because you got to speak it in a different, demanding type of a language. You know.
Yeah, well, I don't have that Putin sitting on my bed, so
Yeah.
he also understands English. Maybe
But-
I need to
but-
call
but-
him.
Sovereignty.
What
But
Doug-
would you?
Susie would tell me, yes, get him and then bring him to my house. That's what would happen. Yeah. But maybe I should call him and tell him that he needs to teach me Russian so I can talk to my dog.
Da, and yet. All you need to do is teach him ribeye.
Oh,
Just get some YouTubes and play some Russian to him, you know?
yeah, oh my gosh. Who knows what they would tell him? They might tell him to run for his life or something. I
Well,
wouldn't
you know,
know what they were saying.
you can go to ones that you can learn how to speak certain words and do that that
I
way.
used to play that on a segment when I had some Russian guests on my segment on another place I used to go to, and had fun with that. You know, and
Yeah, one of
always
these
kind of-
days, Susie and I really liked those Russian guys. We thought they were just cool as hell. So did I. One of these days, you're going to have to get them to make an appearance for a few minutes and say hi to us.
Oh,
Oh.
that'd be nice.
Because they were
Yeah.
really
Yeah, well, I was
nice
thinking
guys.
KGB for some reason, but
Why would I
does
want
Doug, hey Doug, does Doug know Jesse Zapoter yet?
I don't know.
No.
Do you know?
No, I don't think so.
Jesse Zapoter might be able to fill in a few spots where I've been filling in others as well. The military detention disposal camp list on a PDF file, and you know, God help your daughter that she wouldn't end up on such a stupid list. But if they've got people showing up on these lists, I told people in Congress, Congress members, Congresspersons, senators, everywhere from Marjorie Taylor Greene to Darrell Issa, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Chip Roy, you know, you name it, a bunch of them, and nobody responded, either the Speaker of the House or not, and other people. They're not doing anything with it because it's such a hot item. They don't want people to know that we have such a trafficking issue in the United States, not to mention indigenous peoples, women disappearing. You know, don't go walk around barefoot up in North Dakota right now because it's freezing, that kind of stuff. And they're still doing it. It's into the 100,000s. And then recently we'd found out all these people are being allowed to come in up to 500,000. So you might as well call it close to 1 million. So they're doing it for a special reason. And then they disappear.
Tribe, you're talking tribal, and I got a lot of it. My whole thing was set up by the tribal liaison was Tana Klum, my original hypnosis session. They gave the Indians, the feds, they gave the Indians the money to Tony Minthorn, who's these people's sister, place, tribal. It runs the tribe in Pendleton, to Lindsay Cogswell, her husband's best friend, ran the think tank for Obama. That was Tri-Cities, Washington. Next, what's that one? One of the main generals retired up there. Oh, geez, Mattis.
Oh, not
with-
Mad Dog Mattis.
Right, Mad Dog Mattis. Oh yeah, quite
Chaos,
the group
Mr.
right there in
Chaos.
Tri-Cities. And his best friend's I did already say that the think tank for Obama. So I think what you're describing is the movie The Leave the World Behind. I was their horse trainer. There, I'll say that. So
Oh, well,
if you watch
that's a
the
good lead-in
episode-
question right there, because if you were the consultant on any special movies, tell me, because if that ties in with any of the profiles.
No, not movies. No. I'm saying what you're talking about, the military detention thing. First, I was
okay.
finishing something where two different subjects. One is I trained for Lindsay Cogswell as they gave me the Obama indictment, even though her husband's
Right.
best friend was the head of the think tank for Obama. And
Got it.
this guy was the liaison and gave the tribes all the money. So,
Well,
so
that
I
was
was getting
before Obama was
the
president.
tribal part.
That was when Obama was a senator or before?
President. This
When he
is
was. Okay.
right during Obama's presidency, right?
Okay.
Then that's when I was training for him, and I get the Obama indictment too. And again, the fingers that
You were
tribal,
indicted by Obama, right, Doug?
right as he left office doing cleanup, and so I got a right to be really scared this time, as you know, just saying, past experience. Um,
Well, what did they indict you with?
The fake allegation was threatening to launch Operation Braveheart, the killing of Barack Obama. But instead, what I did was I got the CIA orchestrating the false flag shootings, the burning of the West Coast down. I turned in that the people, that the 5-man hit team for Schwarzkopf, I turned them, the Buck Brenneman people in Waitsburg, in for the fentanyl, using horses to launder the fentanyl money. I helped take down Iran's nuclear program, was being vocal about it. I wouldn't shut up about them keeping me down and selling my stuff on TV with Clinton Anderson or these horse whisperer guys.
I was going to say horse whisper, but you said it before I did earlier.
Yeah,
Have you ever been to Iran?
No,
No.
No, but so what I did was the online intel op in the hunt for Osama bin Laden, embedded what one-of-a-kind Trojans and viruses it was on abovetopsecret.com. It's pretty much erased now. There's still a YouTube channel, Where's the Heroes, up, and maybe could find some other of the stuff I would post.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
familiar with
I
that
went all
site.
the way through. Then I went through Europe, and any of the bad guys that was part of CIA rendition. So as I came home, I was sending to the ambassadors of Iran, and I've got a fax letter that's dated about a month before the takedown of Iran's nuke program. But I'd been sending them to do all that work and set the whole damn thing up, and there's Iran. So, I came home so patriotic. The U.S. and Israel, I kept contacting them, and
Well, that's a good question right there. How about BB? Have you ever had an email or contact with BB or anything?
no, and no.
Because I used to protect the Israeli embassy when I was in D.C., but that was years ago. But still, I sort of maintained contacts with certain people, world leaders later on.
So
And
did
it's
did you
crazy
know
back there.
Yehuda Avni? He
Yehuda
was
sounds familiar, but I can't place the other one.
one of the founding fathers of the state of Israel. Yehuda
Oh, that's
Avni.
way back, not in the 40s.
They're at Hagalil Ranch. That's where my gig started. And Albert Cohen was the Mossad, Austrian ambassador, kind of.
Uh-huh.
That's back in, he's dead, so I can say it.
Well, that's
What
way
year was
before
that, Doug?
Ehud brought.
Ellie Barone was in charge of security for Clinton. That was 99. I had a passport stamp 9/11/99 from the state of Israel, exactly 2 years before my passport was sliced open when I was in Germany before 9/11.
You still have it?
No, I only got a picture of it.
Oh, I'd like to see
I'm
that
like,
part. That's prophetic.
yeah. So I have the Israel passport. No, I don't.
Hey,
No.
you have that picture, Doug, you could show when you were in Israel, when you were at the holy place?
Synagogue of Jesus, but
Yeah, the Synagogue of Jesus. Yeah, do you have that?
excuse me if I smoke. I'll have
You're
to
fine.
Facebook it.
I thought this was a non-smoker show.
Oh yeah, right. Look,
You know what?
when I had my laptop, John, I did my show outside so I could smoke.
Really?
Yes.
Hey,
So I
you can
decided
put
to switch.
You can put a mask on.
Oh no, that's okay.
I'll have to get him to sing
And
the
if no one
Hava
was so
Nagila
worried
song.
about it,
There will be no mask wearing on my show. Thank you.
I'm just joking. I thought it was funny.
Unless it's one of them goofy ones like Tommy likes to make. You know, Tommy wears those funny looking masks. So that's about it.
So yeah, Jonathan Baruch is Baruch Raining Horses. His dad was one of the chief psychological operations shrinks for the main generals of the state of Israel when I was there.
That's got to be way after Moshe Dayan, I hope.
This is all 1999.
Oh, okay.
I was
Shoot.
like hypnotized, and oh my God, they brought me to Israel, but there was some trippy stuff that happened after after this day. They closed down the Capernaum for me to pray freely. So I mean, they actually kept people from coming in, and that's not an easy thing to do. So
Well, if you've been in Israel, have you ever been to the Rock of the Golden Dome area?
probably.
Wailing Wall right around the corner, Al-Aqsa, all sacred areas right near the river Gihon.
She walked me through it, but it was different. I was in full, pretty much MK Ultra kind of mindset. You know, it was all extreme new to me. Like if you see the picture of me in the synagogue of Jesus, I just sent it to Brenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to Brenda.
I just did Facebook.
Okay. And Brenda, I sent you his indictment. You can put that up there too, to show the Obama indictment.
So this was set up by the head of the Navy SEALs. So I put a recording. I sent Brenda a recording from Terry Alberg, Steve Alberg's wife. And Steve was the head of all Navy SEALs for the San Diego base, the swastika
So you went
base.
down to Coronado.
No, I did not. No, this is all MK Ultra off the books.
Oh, so you weren't in Coronado then?
No, I was not.
Okay.
No, I do not claim false valor.
Well, I've been to Coronado. That doesn't mean valor. It just means I worked and I was federal anyway, but I was all over. I recall the building that looks like a swastika too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a.
Oh my God.
What happened now?
What happened?
Everybody's sending everything to me, and I got one and tried to upload it, and the stupid thing cut my show out. I think we're still live. Norma, are we back?
Says we're live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Well, you're still uploading 92% right now, it says.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still live.
I am going
we're
to
still
show
here.
what you guys send me, but it cannot be made bigger because I have
That's
to
the
download
lie.
it to my computer, go into another thing. And this time when I did it, tried to get out of it, it took away the show.
I was just going to say, send me a thing on a Microsoft
Yeah,
on
go
an
ahead and
email,
show
I'll
it.
just look at it. But
Okay.
Yeah, you
Give me
can
a
do that.
minute because I need to get this back up.
oh, it went back to 49%.
I have something else that I have to get back up.
Hey, and we have a 5-minute break that we can take right now
Yeah.
because it's 9:59, and then you can come back in and show all that stuff.
Thank you,
That'll
Norma.
give us all time to run to the bathroom and get coffee. And,
Yeah, and
you
let me get it up when we do that. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God,
All
that
right.
scared the daylights out of me. And I know
right,
Andy's over
guys.
there thinking, stop pushing buttons, Glenn.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break, guys, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
gotta
hang
find
on.
it. I gotta get the video up. Hang on. Come on, get up there. Okay. Yep. We'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Brenda's got to get her crap together.
Break it down. Break it down.
Okay. Oh, hang on. There I am. I had to set up some of the stuff you guys sent, and then I had to go run to the bathroom. So I don't do very well running, you guys. Let me tell you.
I hear you.
Amusing as it may be, I work up a sweat moving too fast. Oh, all right. So I have. Wait, where'd Steve go? Oh, there he is. So say we came back without Steve. What happened? So I have somewhere in here. Let me get it again. All right, where did that go? I know that I put it up. Hang on. Let me look. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I have not. Okay. Dang it. All right. Let's see. I'll do this one that Susie sent me first. This is a Obama indictment that was on Doug. We can't really see it too well. Susie, if you have it, can you blow it up on your phone and try to read it?
Hang on a second.
That's just too small.
Yeah, at the top.
Maybe if you gave us the,
indictment.
Doug, yeah, Doug, you got it? You can read it?
if you get the indictment number, you can Google it.
I am not
Right
doing
at
all
the-
that while I'm sitting on live. Go
No,
ahead,
no,
Doug.
no, not live.
Oh,
Just give it to us. Just give us the number so we can look it up on our own on DuckDuckGo or Google.
It just says the United States of America plaintiff against Douglas James Phipps defendant indictment is threats against the President of the United States. Number 416-3R-6050-SAB. And that was in December 06 of 2000. I'm trying to, I can't. What is that year,
Yeah.
Doug?
And
2000.
then I got out of jail by Audrey Osborne, Department of Treasury, their boss, investigators who actually got me out of jail. So I was owned by department, because Secret Service is Department of Treasury.
Right.
It says the grand jury charges on or about January 9th of 2014 within the Eastern District of Washington and elsewhere, the defendant Douglas James Phipps knowingly and willingly made a threat to take the life or kidnap and inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States, to wit, unless the President resolves my situation, I will enact. And that's the
Yeah,
indictment.
I've got it on the websites now.
It says enact Operation Braveheart, the killing of Barack Obama, which is total bullshit. So I caught them remember I said I invented for special forces and stuff. One of them was the floating fire starter. I mean, it was like, when they would orchestrate a shooting or something like that, it became almost like a theater,
Yeah.
So I got in trouble there for calling that Dan Andrews that showed up with Hillary Clinton's Department of State. That guy, for trying to come out of the shadows, say, hey, they're gonna like burn the West Coast down. It's right in that one of the recordings I sent her. They're gonna start hunting cops, shooting them in the head, and because it became so obvious what they were doing. I even said the Lord's Prayer and said, I hope that they burn the West Coast down straight to the front door of your police station. That front door is the police station in Portland, Oregon that Antifa burned the front door down, where they threw all the stuff burning on the front door of a police station. That's his police station, Portland Detective Dan Andrews.
So
Hey,
now,
Douglas.
first of all,
Since
why?
the Secret Service is my former agency, I have to ask, like, did you make a direct contact allegedly, or
Nothing. They just basically they got caught. My brother-in-law on the John Southwick recording, his dad was Secret Service from Hawaii. The Secret Service on multiple occasions was contacting me, asking me, telling me to shut up about them selling my way of training horses, and trying to get me to turn on the special forces when I came home.
well, hold on. You just mentioned Hawaii. That's the connection. That's the profile. I'm profiling what you say. So that means if Obama is connected to Hawaii, some field agent in that area is taking information and they're using it to go back and forth between you and whatever's going on. So they're trying to write something up, is what they're trying to manipulate something.
Well. So if you like, so when they send you into this kind of stuff, and it's MK Ultra, and it's the presidential MK Ultra set up by the head of Special Warfare Navy for the Clintons. Only a president can sell your family out into this stuff. They surround your family, and they married into my family. They found out my hypnosis session. My sister would go off, get drunk, and leave her great husband and wake up married from some stranger off the beach, just saying. So
Now, this is the same case that's 06050 SAB, right?
the Obama indictment's already dropped and behind me, and
Now, this is the one that they said that the defendant shall report to the U.S. Probation Office.
yeah, but that's an old one. I mean,
Okay.
It's all finished now.
Yeah, that's 2017.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pretrial deal that they did back then.
Yep. And when I was on their pretrial release, it was with Tony Minthorn, who's the sister to the people that John Brennan put me with on my homecoming and got a restraining order on me, and have been after my child since she's been born. I mean, literally, these people have had their eyes on my little girl since she's been born, man. I mean, it's.
Well, hold on. You just stated that Brennan was involved in the restraining order?
No. Well, they used his name in the courthouse to get the restraining order.
Well, then that's public information. That's what I'm saying. If I had a copy of something that shows his name is in an official document like that, that's a serious thing.
So his name is mentioned multiple times in the successful restraining order on me
Got it.
in Baker City, Oregon, multiple
Got it.
times.
No, I've had
On
contact with people that had problems with
three people
Obama.
tried to, huh?
I said I've had contact with people before. I can't even think of this guy's name. It was some guy that was a taxi driver or limousine driver before Obama got into the office of the president. He was a senator. And then this guy was worried that once he got and won the election, I had to advise him to leave the country, and he did. He saved his life, or I helped save his life, because he was hiding out in a South American country somewhere, I won't mention. And when he got back, he was going public with Tucker Carlson. He was on an interview with Tucker Carlson, just to let you guys know. And here I sit with all my death threats, and nobody's doing anything for me. But, what's it going to take? You got to get on with Tucker Carlson and get some other exposure, because that's more protection, because he's out of the office. He can't do stuff, supposedly. Deep State, that's something else. Brennan, I mean, he's a Muslim this week, I guess. Assalamu alaikum. Joke.
Well, I want to know why Obama thinks that he would be so special that anybody would even want to think about kidnapping him, because I wouldn't put up with him. I'd be paying them to take him back.
It was more that they were worried. This was as Obama was leaving office and he was doing cleanup before Trump came in.
Oh,
they
you
were
mean
more worried that
stuffing
Trump was
everything
going
in
to
those
find out.
17 trucks?
What's that?
You mean stuffing all those files in those 17 trucks that he has in storage everywhere?
Well,
Yeah,
probably
that's what he
some
was pointing at.
skeletons in closets and junk at Gitmo that never went to Gitmo, because Sidney Powell talked about that. You never went to places like Gitmo or Diego Garcia, did you?
No, so I was the bait. I was the guy that would set up a clinic somewhere and go through.
Oh,
And when they would come to kill me, that's why I had the intelligence op set up. So I'd go into a town and people would Google me and this and that, and up would pop Doug. That's why, during the Freedom Prize thing, the largest anti-terror bust in the history of France is right after I was touring France, 2004, during the Freedom Prize stuff, and I was training horse for Laurent Erstein for Team France at the NRHA Futurity, the whole head-down style that dominates the planet today.
Yeah, if I was doing one of these old-fashioned profiles that said, give me a list of all the places you went. That's why I like looking at passports for a living, right? 15 years at U.S. Customs at the border. I'd looked at so many passports. I processed like 4 or 5 million people, but they didn't like me because I knew all the stuff with the diplomats. See, I can mess with diplomats. I know the law.
So I have different experience with passport people. Everything. Have you've seen the white and black passports then? To going through a Swiss check and having a guy say, "Hey, I'm from oh geez, the
Zurich?
country's slipping my name right now." But my boss in Spain was the Federal Reserve handler for this country. He reaches in the bag, pulls out drugs, says, "Is this yours?" "No, it's really not mine." He goes, "Well, you better shut up about this."
What do you mean, Madrid?
No, when I went to
Toledo?
No, Palma de Mallorca, Spain was where my handler was.
You know what? I was working with Janice McAfee recently.
Geller.
McAfee killed himself in prison north of Barcelona, supposedly.
I hope not. I was always hoping that was one of the things that wasn't true, but
yeah, I've got some documents. We'll have to do a separate deal on that. I'm still trying to get in touch with her because I was trying to help her recover the remains.
I don't.
Never happened.
I don't think
They're just bilking you for money, and that's what these foreign countries will do. Especially if it's a McAfee worth millions, they're going to try and get that kind of money, and it's only like $600 in Mexico, Joe. So stuff you'd rather grow up not knowing about, right,
So
Brenda?
Right.
I have that picture. I have a
Show it.
picture of Doug out here at this. Where
Oh,
was
there
that
it
at, Doug?
Explain that one,
Okay,
Doug.
so yeah, that's
John
Tal
Travolta? Is
Shani.
that a
That's
John Travolta moment?
well, that's in between two pillars. You can't see them. That's the symbology of Samson and Delilah, the whole
Oh,
Q
yeah.
operation, 1999. That's Capernaum, Israel. I'm in an Israeli Defense Force shirt. Now, take a careful look at that girl. So that's Tal Shani Miskavam. Her dad was a great, her whole family, special forces, etc. Her brother was the military instructor, fighting Krav Maga instructor. So when I went to Israel 9/11, Cal kept taking her hair from that color and making it lighter and redder, making herself more skinny. When I got in Germany 9/11 with the people setting up 9/11, the girl looked exactly like Tal Shani.
What year was
That was
that?
Karina Heileman. Karina Heileman, Clearwater Ranch, Point DE. That's where I was asked to work for Osama bin Laden. And you'll see now it's just a natural horsemanship place selling my stuff. Fuck.
Well,
What year was that, Doug?
1999.
99. Okay.
See, that's the profile of this other guy who was a falconer. That's the profile. So you just helped explain this is how they work. This is what they do. They get you to use your expertise in one area, and that's where the Arabs love the horses. They love the falcons. It's part of their culture. So you tied in with two special, I don't know, alias type profiles where that's what they did to the other guy. Eventually, he got out. He actually supposedly met Osama bin Laden after he was disappeared.
I have another one.
Oh, good. Show and tell.
I have this one. What are you doing here, Doug?
Oh, yeah.
That's me in cowboy boots standing in the synagogue of Jesus, Capernaum, Israel, on a pillar. Slippery. Cowboy boots are slippery, man. Those stones are slippery. So that was MK Ultra, Doug, God will
As if
hear
you
your
have leather
prayers
bottoms
better up
instead of
there.
rubber.
And
Supposed to have leather.
my
Right.
girlfriend was Tal Shani, Special Forces Israeli military. So of course I could do anything, right?
So what were you doing in that picture? Tell us what you're doing in that picture.
Standing in prayer. That was supposed to be the prayer for like the whole Q operation, like, bring the pillars down on our enemies' heads and destroy all these horrible people that have done such bad stuff. And I've done my part. So done my part.
That's what happens when you do your
That's
part there, Doug.
Well, but with me, it's a different level of poverty. The whole it's murder. What they did with me is conspiracy to murder,
I still have it on
100%.
my keychain. Did they give you any souvenirs?
In Israel,
Yeah.
well, everything I got is gone. Everything I had was taken by the people that were helping me.
What's that,
it's like
John?
Well, it's just a little item I carry on a keychain. It's a Mossad emblem thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like an identifier, like an ID card or a dog tag almost.
Okay.
It's kind of a sarcasm considering I'm ex-Secret Service, but you see all these people out there, KGB, Mossad, MI5, MI6, all of them, Not to mention a few other ones I didn't mention.
I worked with most of them in Slovakia. The place I worked, everyone kept trying to get into camcorder horses. The third richest guy in all of Eastern Europe, his dad was third down from the Kremlin for Putin, and they were the only ones that told me the truth.
I got to ask
it
you
was
about the
heartbreaking
horses.
for them to tell me the truth.
Did they ever give you anything to transport on horses across the borders or anywhere?
Oh, I'm too straight a shooter for that, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I had to ask because that's a profile where they'll take horses. They won't tell the
Oh, yeah,
handlers.
yeah. So that's Cody Prague in Tony Minthorn's this abused kid, um, Cody, that's now a cowboy, construction guy, whatever. He would run sheep up and down and horses up and down the West Coast
Yeah, I mean, they could just take a bottle of
all the
whatever.
time. And he was the one. I'm pretty sure there was some chemical enhancements going in between routes with him.
Well, that's yeah, those are for like competitive type stuff, things like that. I was talking more about the other stuff that they may go through a certain digestive tract or maybe through a certain body cavity, so they smuggle it across and then later they retrieve it, no different than if a body carry. But that's you know, it would have to be really expensive stuff, or diamonds, or jewelry, or the crown jewels, or the Hope diamond, or some other, not to mention radioactive material. See?
For me,
No.
yeah, me.
Yeah.
Albert Cohen's the one that in Israel smuggled diamonds across Europe, but he's dead
That's
now,
the
so I
Jewish
can say his
mafia.
name. Yeah, he was the Austrian.
Somebody's playing on my heartstrings and getting me to feed him fortune cookies.
Hope it's a good
Stop
fortune.
it, Brenda. Stop it. Control it.
I can't. He's hurt.
Well, he's
I'm
trying to
giving
get
you
the lottery
cookies.
ticket for next tomorrow.
Yeah. So, Doug,
You got another picture of Doug also. Show that one with the horses. Why
I
you
do?
got it, Brenda? Yeah.
I have a couple of them.
Okay. Show us a
Done.
couple horse pictures.
Okay. Let me do this one.
Well, the one video of the paint horse, you'll recognize the round, collected, pretty style, and you know, at the end of the video, the horse has a pretty cute stop, and it's completely that's Carol Kitsch. So they did all these horrible stuff to me right as I'm in the middle of a federal investigation. I mean,
Ugh.
remember the most important, biggest federal investigation ever was the investigation into CIA rendition.
That's a nice
All right.
horse.
Here he is.
That's a Mustang owned by Carol Kitsch.
Ah,
Beautiful horse.
how many hands is it, as they say?
She
Is that
was
a
about
video?
14.3.
Oh, there you go.
Does it do any special tricks or trots, or?
Just they'll all get soft and collected if you ride my program. It just turns the horse. It dominates the planet today.
Ajá, la boca es suavecito.
Well, you probably know who the handler was for the
Sí.
Lone Ranger's horse, or Dale
Golpear
Anderson's
con la
Trigger.
pierna, golpear con la pierna.
I don't.
Oh,
This is
no
when
sé.
they were going to send me to Costa Rica to train, but my former boss from Spain, Martin, told me they'd send me to South America to kill me. It was during the Mexican drug wars
Adelante.
and stuff,
Es adelante.
and they were
Adelante.
going to
De nada.
have me put
Was she
8
translating?
yearlings in a 6-horse trailer and drive it down.
Doug, was she translating to somebody what you were talking about?
Yeah, because my next assignment was to go to Costa Rica.
Costa
And
Rica
I
is
told
one of the biggest or largest compilation of
Ok,
intelligence
entonces,
people.
arriba
Yeah,
y luego tiene que sentar con la arena feel, sentar
To sit back.
es levantar, ajá, levantar un poco, ok, luego
I think
I'll
she's saying
move
something
it
about getting
literally
Sentir la
and
geared
then
up.
boca.
I'll translate it.
What? What did you say? What?
como siente la boca, you feel the mouth, right? Como cuando siente la boca, entonces va a manejar el caballo adelante con la pierna.
Now
Okay.
you're pulling on his
Okay.
rein and he's
Comprende.
looking around. What do you want?
So I'm showing them that I lift the rein, is bend and soften that way.
There you go.
Adelante es forward.
Gracias.
tres con la espalda.
And it's basically, this horse training program's basically
mano,
being
otra
used by
mano.
everybody on the planet.
Okay.
And if you fast forward it, she'll see the little Mustang
Ábrelo,
stop.
ciérralo,
Pretty sweet.
ábrelo. Is open, ciérralo.
Now down and back with my hand. Abajo.
What am I looking for?
Atrás is back.
Yep, down and back.
Yeah, you can just,
Wait, what
Where
am I
was this at, Doug?
Okay.
Where'd you do
that
this
was
at?
at
La
Debbie
pierna,
Kellogg's and Baker City right before
espalda
my
a la
little girl was
izquierda.
made.
Okay.
Right before they decided to erase me. Like, and then this was Buck Brenneman's people. And Debbie would go on the governor's rides. That's basically the one range stop.
Give me, the more I make her do.
Trabaja más. Okay.
So is it really hard to get him to do some of these tricks, the advanced
Well,
tricks?
that's not any tricks. Later,
No, I
she's
meant
loping.
more advanced tricks like rearing up or
Oh no,
trots.
I don't do that. I teach them like sliding stops, spins, round collection.
Okay, and then the
So this horse took your training class.
No, well,
Okay.
yes, but it's more the lady was the federal investigator to the shootings, and then the whole time they're like offering me weapons, trying to get me to go kill people from the shit they were doing.
Did you ever run
Basically,
into
the
Bo
ones that got the
Grites?
restraining. What's that?
Cuando
Did you ever
puse
run into Bo
presión
Grites?
en el mano,
Uh-uh.
ella, entonces va.
So,
Yeah,
Somewhere
Ruby
that
Ridge,
horse
Janet
isn't
Reno
twitching and
stuff.
just tossing her head. It's actually loping round and pretty and does a little slide. But
well, that horse is beautiful. But so whose horse was that?
that's Carol Kitch, the federal investigator to the Ruby Ridge shooting. So this was before all those rash of shootings and everything.
Okay. Well,
Because I went through MK Ultra, so why waste a good thing? I guess someone thought.
Can you say Janet Reno?
I don't know him.
why would we
No,
want to
Janet
know who
Reno was the
Janet Reno
attorney general at that time frame.
Okay.
She's the one that went around saying we didn't get enough people arrested for whatever. She's the one that controls a lot of these issues. She also was the one that controlled the ATF, FBI snipers. I forget the Asian guy's name.
LaVoy Finicum people.
Well,
you go.
I
There you
think
go.
Mike Reno was her
That was
brother,
part of my
and he used to.
story, too.
Janet Reno's brother, Mike Reno. I'm pretty sure it was Mike Reno, was a cutting horse, and I used to see him at the cuttings when I showed. Yeah, the Renos
Yeah,
used to show.
I'm glad Doug brought up the Finnegan case because I'm really upset about that one, about how they killed him. They killed him, you know.
Yeah, they murdered him. And
I don't like
Dwayne
him.
Emer, the guy on Hellboy and the Flash.
Wow. Well, then that's just further proof about my case, other people's cases. They will
They
solicit.
were trying to force him to kill people to save his family. They were
Exactly.
hoping he would lose his shit.
Right. They use it as a defense maneuver.
Well, so they could bring in martial law at that time. And he would, okay, let's just say somebody stopped a group from going and grabbing a bunch of tanks at the National Armory in Bend and driving them to Salem. Just saying. That was real deal, at least talked about in the camp.
That's amazing. I mean, I know what they do. It's so dirty. The American public has no idea about how they get these people together. They're using everybody.
So the Hammonds, if I can just intercede, remember I said the
Go ahead.
people that got the restraining order on me that have been after my kid since she's born, handpicked by Brennan, I mean, bad people. Their sister, Tony Minthorn, that runs the Pendleton Roundup Beauty Queen, or the Rodeo Queen pageant, was Rusty Hammond's girlfriend all in high school. So it's just kind of weird that Obama put me with her when these are the very people, you know what I mean? So
Well,
that whole
was it
thing
just-
was a game of federal whack-a-mole. Every time someone got patriotic, the feds would jump in and pop them and arrest them.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the commonality. You just mentioned this young lady. How far back was this young lady?
Which one?
The one you just mentioned?
Oh, Tony was sister to the people that got a restraining order on me, and when I
No,
was
no,
on
no.
my Obama,
No, the young girl. How old was this young girl they were kind of trying to match you with? The excuse was you're a horse trainer. That's how they use to get the women to connect. Is they're using the horses as a ploy, a tool, like candy or something. See?
and to control, the trainer can tell them every move to make. Different teams would surround people, you know, even surveillance on them, and know
Exactly.
everything about them. Put them out of business. Go in, get up. Cindy Harris, Walla Walla head drug enforcement task force wife would go in, get the horse, the trailer, the saddles for nothing, and tell them what a favor she was doing, having them sold for 40-50 grand the next day.
There you go. You just spelled it
Again and
out.
again,
That's
hand
how they
over
do
fist.
it.
They gutted the middle class. This was actually CIA black sites horse show industry. CIA black sites and horse show stables was the black ops community. You know, that's
Yeah, that's critical. I'm surprised you don't have a book yet. Maybe.
right. Well, I was promised book and movie deals, but in fact, the people there took some of the stuff from from the first book I was promised by the people that got the restraining order on me and Wenzel's and stuff, because they all knew it was true, was to do with before 9/11. And Andy Schneider, the guy that sliced open my passport, asked me to work for Osama bin Laden. He only got caught for grabbing race cars in Eastern Europe and selling them, and he was a kidnapper of women for the sex slave trade, and Russian or a German mafia guy. Ended up being CIA, as far as I can tell. That they made the race car Fast and Furious. The gal got they changed the script, and she got her 10 grand for making that. Clara something, one of the sheriff's wives, was a producer. She made a script, got $10,000, took everything to do with horses out, and that was that. What's that race? Fast and Furious. Part of it.
Well, Fast and Furious
Part of
was the thing about the guns and stuff under
the
Eric
race
Holden.
cars, right?
And one of the Border Patrol guys got killed because of it, because of the guns. They weren't even tracking the guns, and they're claiming they were going to lead them to the cartel people that they sold them to through Southern California, for instance.
Yeah, both.
They'd have to put chips on everything, literally. They go, yeah, there's a chip down there in Mexico. Yeah, let's go into a cartel. Let's go down and get it now. Oh, okay, go get a Black Hawk helicopter. They could, but
just waiting for the 20 terrorists at a time to go through American cities.
By the way, a suggestion for security on everybody who's watching is that if you do have a passport, I strongly suggest that you put it in a special RFID blocking sleeve, because it's chipped. Everything they've got has been chipped for years. That's why I carry them chipped. They can't track me. Just like the cell phone.
My turn.
What?
It said my turn.
Your turn?
Yes. Doug, Woo wants to. Where are you originally from? Where were you born and raised?
California. Then my dad, he came up with the original Service Master, was Service Unlimited, that carpet cleaning thing. And then he moved to Portland. He kind of like lost the business. Anyways, whatever. Moved to bad business partner. Moved to Portland. Started International Collision Repair. My mom wanted me to have a skill, so they bought a little place with 5 acres and some crappy horses, and the horse took off, and I fell off and broke my elbow, and that was my first ride. Second time the horse flipped over, knocked itself out. Third time I was crying. I learned to just bend them with both hands to one side, and that's where the bend around the inside leg, head down program came from.
Oh, makes sense.
You're supposed to move your right leg out of the way as you go down, right?
What's that?
I was kidding. It's like if you pull pull back and to the left and you're going to go down on the right, you better move your leg out of the way or something.
Your left leg, so they'll turn left harder.
Oh, tight left, loose right.
Sometimes.
Yeah. No, I've
Depends on
ridden
if
a
you
little
want.
bit, but not as much as you probably have.
Roll back turn, a straight turn, or a counter bend turn. Counter bend turn won't do you no good on a cow.
Good.
Right, Susie?
I hear you.
But it'll help you on the straight track and the cow.
I got a cow horse that knows reining and cutting, and we just started doing sorting, so I'm having a blast.
Who was that actress that was in that movie in the store? I can't think of her name. Shoot. She was on a one of those artificial horses in the store thing, and you got to put a quarter in. And all they did was just show her riding. That's it.
Yeah, Doug.
She's married to Paul Bettany.
I don't know.
Shoot.
Sounds like my kind of girl.
Yeah, she was in Dave the Earth Stood Still #2 with Keanu Reeves. I'm bad with names sometimes.
So I went to that sorting, and I had a guy come up to me. He goes, "Where'd you get that horse?" And I said, "I went all the way to Illinois to get her." And he goes, "I really like your horse. Do you want to sell your horse?" I said, "Nah, she's a keeper." And he goes, "Well, I just want you to know I really like your horse."
Is that what he meant?
Double the price and go find another one.
You better,
No.
you better lock her up.
She ain't for sale. She's a caper. That's what I said. She's a caper. I'm keeping her.
Caper.
Better go put her with your red heifer. Get them locked up.
Well, I have to ask that because it's a law enforcement question, but did you ever run across some people that were kind of twisted about horses to the extreme?
That's at Babcock Ranch. When
Really?
they had me at Babcock
Really?
Ranch.
Babcock?
Oh, thank you. Woo Riders got it. Jennifer Connolly. Thank you.
Jennifer Connolly. There you go. Thank you, Woo.
They
She
had to
looked
turn
hot
the
in that
breeding. They put me in the for 30 days straight. I had to go to this back breeding barn and work this one horse all by itself. It ended up being the horse Clinton Anderson pretended he halter broke and stood on with a whip in one session. I'd been working it a month, but he
Right.
turned the cameras off that area because the Mexicans used it as their resort area.
Was
That's
it
a Smart
Mexican or South American?
Chickalina people, right? Smart Chickalina Babcock.
Yeah, Smart Littlina, Smart Chickalina, Jim Babcock. Yeah.
South Americans have a propensity towards having those kind of adult entertainment related to horses and animals.
That's gross.
So that's still abuse. I mean, it's still something, but anyway, different
Yeah, I
subject.
blow in the nose and give them kisses, but I guarantee it's at the breathing end.
So you started that horse that you were saying that Anderson was.
Pretended he did a clinic at Babcock's, yeah. Military jets overhead, everything, and he was right there. And if I'd have just went up to him and grabbed him and took my blows, but punched him a couple times, all this would have been over right then. You know. But that was like 2004, right after 9/11, during Al Qaeda message, "The days are pregnant." Which
Sometimes
is,
words are more powerful.
Yeah.
Sometimes words hold more punch than actual punch, you know.
Oh, no, he's made so much money, you know.
Steve, you're still being followed by that guy. 3 right turns, man. 3 right turns.
Evasive maneuvers, Steve. There you go. Round it out.
Every time he gets out there, he's getting followed.
Would you like us to call where he lives and say, "Everybody get off of the roads. Steven's going to be driving today."
Right.
Yeah, what's your 20?
I don't know where Jason is. Jason usually really likes Steve shopping day.
Steve, it's snowing up there, isn't it? What about you, Doug, too? Snow?
Yeah, it's snowing here. I showed some of the cars I bought. Like, I showed it on screen earlier. So if he comes back and watches later, he'll see it.
How much snow you guys getting up there?
I think we got like 3 inches today, and it's still kind of flurries. It was a lot heavier where I came from, closer to the lake.
What about you, Doug? How much snow you getting?
1/4 inch in Boise.
Okay,
Last
that's not
time I
too much,
checked.
right?
Thank God. I'm working outside in the mud.
John, you don't get no snow, do you?
Well, I was going to tell you, I was praying for snow when I was a kid in San Diego at the 8 to 10 range before 63, and it snowed in a particular part of that town for a
Oh,
couple hours, and then it disappeared after several hours. So
there you go.
it does work.
It does.
I
Oh,
just don't think
it
about it
does.
much, but yeah, it's happened.
So you lived in Israel. Did you ever hear of an operative named Haim?
Hi. I'm sorry,
The
what
most
agency was that?
Mossad?
No. I protected the embassies, Anwar Sadat, Menachem Begin, all the high-ranking people in D.C. Ehud Barak, I didn't protect. He got on a plane from Israel to New York and jumped on Jeff Epstein's plane and went to Zorro Ranch. Ever been to Albuquerque?
To the Arabian Nationals.
Uh, well, their ranch, Jeff Epstein's ranch, is just north of that by 20 miles. I'm not sure if it would be in town or not. Probably, you know what I mean. You know.
I know when they first took over the horse scene and all the Black Ops people moved in, there was definitely a bunch of little foster girls at Mount Hood Center that showed up and a bunch of people having sex with underage kids, and I wasn't one of them. I'm the one that
Wow.
opened my mouth, and you open your mouth and they'll like kick you to the curb, is what Dan Andrews calls it.
I keep thinking about that movie with Gene Hackman, and I believe it could have been made in Texas. You remember that? I think we talked about that, Susie. Um, uh, Sissy Spacek,
Okay. Yeah.
uh, Prime Cut. I think it was Prime Cut, and they
Yeah, you were
literally
saying.
had young girls sitting in
Shush.
stalls in a barn, a gigantic barn with
Oh,
hay, and they had numbers on them, and they had guys walking by and said, "Yeah, I want that one," and just filled
and they
out a
put it right in
form.
the movies, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right in the movie.
And
I
Doug
didn't
was
partic-
actually living it. Doug was seeing it.
yeah. See, I didn't particularly care
Well,
for that, but that's what they were talking about back then.
I just saw a lot of women behind glass doors, and you know
Well, that's
the
like they do in the Netherlands.
Netherlands style, or the whorehouses in Germany, or the prostitute
There you
streets.
go. Yeah,
Um,
right out on the street.
but the ambassador of Austria, their family was high level Nazis that were taken to USA Operation Paperclip. And they were so upset over being called Nazis that they spent their whole life being the really kind animals and going and rescuing these women and giving them like a job and helping them out if they could rescue them.
Right. Well, that's
So,
weird. I mean, I studied that stuff. I can do dissertations about those guys. Himmler, Velvesberg Castle. I mean, of course, Patton when he was recovering the Lipizzard stallions. Lipizzaner. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Lipizzaner. Uh, George C. Scott. Excellent Patton. But yeah, they did a lot with those animals back during the war. And they were literally just slaughtering because they didn't have food. And they were the most protected, the highest level because of the royalty, you know. So you probably ran across a lot of royalty with a lot of these people that are up in those areas. And just as we're talking about the profiles of some of these rich and famous people that, oh yeah, if you want to go get something, you just go downtown and window shop. Thank you, Norma. Good comment.
Yes, absolutely, Norma. Woo, what'd
yeah,
you do?
that would be Hules. Hules didn't seem to have very much they didn't care very much for human values or dignity.
Yeah, they
They
just
were
look like it's
constantly
all.
getting women to their ranch and using them, basically for sex. The girl,
Meat market.
the the girl from the Swiss Army girl that showed up there. I mean, there were three of those guys were going to rape her. That was Hubert Huell, and he's part of the same, like at Hops and the group here I'm talking about, or I've mentioned a bunch. Once they were playing games, Hubert was trying to get me to go work for him, trainer of ARC, going to be a big star, while the other people were getting. Justin Parker was getting his family was getting a stallion from Andrea Fabani, the Italian $1 million rider superstar. Hubert was I could go work at Hubert's and train his 2-year-old so he could go show him. It's how
that's
they would
big money, isn't
switch
it?
you by they. Not with me, because they want me to do all the work and they're the stars making the $1 million.
Yeah. Well, did you do any
They want.
movies where you were the consultant, technical consultant, or whatever?
No. In Spain, I helped do some stuff for one of the girls, like commercials and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because it's like that movie with Tyrone Power, Mark of Zorro, back in 1940, and they're filming it in Spain. They had some beautiful horses, and they're just doing the hurdles. And if you jump and clear each hurdle, they were placing bets against the other guy because somebody would screw up and clip it at the top or fall off the horse. Those are excellent looking animals, and they had to have had some very good handlers that were handling those. No different than Silver from the Lone Ranger or Trigger from Roy Rogers.
They're very, very good riders in Spain.
Yeah.
They're very,
That's
very
probably
nice.
the top, unless it's Brazil. Brazil? Maybe?
Brazil and Italy have bought the greatest horses on the planet.
Got it. Well, see, that's the whole thing. These people have money. That's their profile. So they're going to be up in the upper levels where they're doing horse polo or stuff like that, which is how
nowadays it's my stuff, the Run for a Million reining and the cow horse. The whole Yellowstone stuff, the Yellowstone guys big that's my program.
What about the British? The British like to go on fox hunts, and that involves horses.
I trained for Jennifer Kersey in England, and 2004 NRHA Futurity, her horse was second. No one knew I had anything to do with it, but
yeah, but you
I
knew.
didn't train that horse. I can't say I didn't train that horse, but
I'm trying to think. Remember Scalia when he got Judge Scalia when he died over in Texas? I believe it was a gentleman's ranch.
Right.
And I don't know if they were hunting, but I understand that's part of the profile is they will let loose some children or some people and they go hunt them down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wasn't exposed to any of that, thank God.
Yeah.
Even though I was the horse trainer for Sarah Reeser, who's John Reeser, governor of Wyoming's ex-wife, had fundraiser for Skull and Bones, and John Reeser's best friend was Dick Cheney. I would find them to be a lot more gentlemanly than Clinton's people.
Somebody was just talking about Liz Cheney yesterday about how she was destroying evidence on something. They all do. They're all doing it,
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, you are correct.
I'm going to talk to Nick in Paris, and I was just talking about Madame Guillotine yesterday or day before. They could pull it out, put a little WD-40, and get it in working order. Just in a couple hours, unless they have to replace a part. Get it going again. 1775.
Obama bought.
Huh?
All those guillotines Obama bought.
Oh, you're talking about the portable ones. Yeah. Now, I understood that Trump supposedly got rid of the plastic body containers or whatever they were going to put up because they were going to do a lot of that at FEMA camps, converted. And then they were going to use these portables. He supposedly got rid of them. I understood, but...
once I saw him being chummy with Obama, my heart just sank. my heart just sank because it looked
Yeah,
like there's
I wondered
genuinely my
about that
body
too.
read on
Like
languages. It looked like Bush was real butthurt. Bush took something serious, like serious enough, like the death of his dad type. Something like
Oh
he
yeah.
was really uptight about
like
it,
I
man.
Well,
said,
he's remembering when he
Deep
handed out those
pain,
little
deep
notices.
pain.
yes, like I said,
But
the
no
thing
one's
of it
done anything.
is Michelle, big Michelle,
Michelle didn't show up,
didn't
and now they're
show up.
putting out that somebody's
So
talking about divorces going on. Joke.
I think that Trump probably asked about that, and I really think he was pissing off Kamala because if you looked at Kamala's
Oh, I
face,
saw it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
was
did one of these
side
routines.
eyeing Trump and just pissed that him and Obama were back, and Obama was sitting right behind her.
Yeah.
So he's got them all by the goat nads. So I think
Cojones.
they have to,
got 'em by their horns.
yeah, the horns. So I think they have to play as nice as possible.
No.
Yeah.
I said to Brenda earlier that Michael was fixing her gonads. That's why they weren't there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard,
Well,
I
if
heard
they
that Jimmy,
get divorced, she gets half anyway. Maybe.
I heard Jimmy Carter said no transvestites were allowed.
Well, there.
That's possible.
that could be.
That's
I just
possible.
made that up, you guys. Just now.
No,
Yeah.
I know you did.
But that is fun.
I used to protect Jimmy Carter, just in case you didn't know. Anwar Sadat, Menachem Begin, and Jimmy were in a special private part of the mansion, and moi, all by ourselves. And they were talking the peace talks, and I had to step off maybe 15, 25 feet away just to make sure nobody came in and interrupted them, or I'd have to shoot them. You know the joke.
Well,
But
I'm going to tell you this. I did a little bit of checking and digging, and I found out something about old Carter. And
which part?
the part that he was definitely not for the farmers.
Peanut
Okay.
farmer?
No farmers.
Really?
Yes. He did a lot of taking away from our U.S. farmers.
Well, we've
And
been taken away from the farmers for years. Like, don't ship off to Russia.
yeah, but
No
it started
grains.
there. It started there.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why when Trump got in office, he went ahead and authorized for the farmers to be able to have money so that they could do their stuff. And then right away, what happens when Biden comes in? Everything's gone. Everything's gone.
Well,
They're
just
trying to
think
get
about it.
with force.
Every president, when they're sworn in, has a top secret team come in and tell them how the country's really ran. Now,
Deep
just
state.
think, you're a sweet little guy, Jimmy Carter, Christian guy with a Christian wife, and a bunch of like men in black guys show up and say, here's where your family lives, here's this, here's that. We'll kill them all. You just do what we say. You know,
Well,
poor
I
Jimmy
have to
Carter.
agree that
Like,
that's
I'm the
probably
sweetest
true.
guy ever.
But
What's
it
that?
wasn't Secret Service. We're talking way up above those guys. They threatened. Well, that was LBJ and Kennedy. LBJ was a piece of shitesing anyway, but
Yeah.
they threatened the president, and they have no qualms. Even about the Majestic 12 stuff. Linda Moulton Howe confirmed that on some other interview, and I saw it through other people. Stephen Greer, I know him personally, and they've been talking about the same stuff. So they're still threatening these figureheads. That's what they are. They're the figurehead, but they shouldn't be threatened because they're the representation of the majority of the country. Period. That means somebody's got to get their own deep state team to go after them, counter assault team to go after them.
I'm still going to say, here's the deal, John. They don't give two craps about the country. They don't give two craps about us little people that are in
It's
this country.
only about
That
them
actually-
and their money.
That's
Nothing
right.
but
And
it's
you know,
demonic.
here's the
Them,
messed
they're-
up thing about that, Doug. It's not their money. Where do you think they get their money? They get their
Tax
money
slaves.
from us.
Tax
The
slaves.
working people,
about-
we work for them, basically.
I'm
and
just
that's not
talking
what it's supposed to be.
the
Yeah.
people that deep state picks in general have no morals, no scruples, different ones with different skills and anything for the money. I'm the guy that wouldn't do anything for the money. That's why, like, I got in so much trouble, especially
Right.
like Brandon's people. I mean,
I'm
that's what the
sorry, I can
KGB
relate to
told.
that comment.
What's that?
I said I relate to that comment. That's why we get the death threats, no Social Security. People don't get it. They keep going, John, you're 71. You're supposed to get Social Security. Would you please email that message to a couple of people in Congress and the upcoming administration and tell them that? Because I haven't got that check yet, and Biden just signed off the Social Security Fairness Act. Can you believe it? Fairness Act. So
Yeah.
they've been
They're
stealing the
very-
money for years. Now they're giving it back, but they're not going to give you back pay. They owe me already over $250,000 on Social Security alone.
They're not gonna give anything.
Steve's got
I'm
a comment?
blacklisted from work,
Oh,
so that's why I have to work for myself and run my own
Exactly.
business.
Me too, and the horses.
Yep. So
well, also a
everybody,
security company with Steve's background and Doug and Andy and Susie and Brenda. See, start our own major company.
security
We become
program.
the
He
CEOs.
gets too much in this. Everybody's gonna have to definitely donate because we're gonna have to pay him.
Yeah, and then we could buy a place in Greenland after we
Yeah,
absorb it.
yeah. Oh, Greenland would be nice.
All these places, all these people that say like, just get a job. Target and Walmart won't even hire me. That's
They
how
don't
bad
get it.
this job market is.
You know, that's a
Because
good point.
you say target
because-
because you're targeted.
Well, they do blacklist. They will blacklist you. You're
Yeah.
a do not hire, and it's like you have to lower your standards. But I'm disabled now, so I got a bad back. So I can pull
I'm fortunate
triggers.
to have eBay and being able to run my own store that way. But I have to go to the stores every night to get inventory just to make sure that like I'm staying on top of everything. That's why I'm out.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I find stuff. I find enough to flip and all of that, but it gets tiresome after a while. I have to take some days off. But this is the only way I can make money right now. It's
You
kind of
sell
crazy.
them-
I have this entire film background. I went to college for film, for directing and editing, and now there's just no work available, and I
Hey,
can't even get a
Steve.
job at fucking Target. So
Steve,
you don't
I've
need
got
to start.
I've got hundreds of videos that are like the ultimate documentary. I shouldn't be telling my story. I can have it be told by Brennan's office, name Brennan's office, Clapper's office, Secret Service intelligence, Secret Service multiple agents, CIA files,
You give me a
FBI.
list of the agents. I'll let you know if I know some of them. Because
Well,
I'm the guy that interviewed Hinckley in front of the White House in '76. They fouled up. He kept stalking Ford and Carter, and then he got through to Reagan, but he didn't shoot Reagan because that was a setup under Poppy Bush. We thank Felix Rodriguez of the company out of Langley, Brigade 2506, way back to 1961 groups. So that's how that kind of goes. But yeah, you put the names out there and you embarrass them out in the public. That's how you expose them. Chris
Well,
Milligan
Secret
is the
Service
one that
agent
does all the
Sal.
books. What?
I got a lot of their names. Secret Service agent Sal from Portland who showed up and was trying to get me to turn on the special forces. Later, I had to put the guy's name out there as he's talking to me, thinking everything's cool, and I'm sitting there at the head of Obama's think tank's best friend's ranch.
Well, I'll tell you what, I worked at the White House, and not all those agents are clean.
No.
Very political, and they pull you in, compartmentalized, closer to the family, and closer to certain details.
Wife, Nikki Jones, worked under the White House supposedly for Clinton's, but I don't know what her maiden name was.
I don't place the name.
Under the White House.
Oh, well, I knew Chris Ruddy, and he was doing some dirty work right after the Vince Foster incident. And I was talking to him plus George Putnam up in Los Angeles in '95. up to 98. I was also bodyguarding KGB colonel. But a lot of the information was they were trying to get information through this Chris Ruddy guy through me about procedures. I think they were trying to give him information to help cover things up because he got a White House pass during the Clinton administration, which means he could go in the West Wing and go make visits. Pretty much, as much as he could up to a point. But yeah, I worked inside, so I know the ins and outs of how they play games over there. But
Well, and with that MK Ultra, supposedly only a president can get them to take their fist off you.
well, I don't think that's true. They've got other people that do it. It's plausible deniability, so they let some other person do it, so they're not directly involved. Third, fourth, fifth removed. You
Right.
know,
Yeah, the cousin of the Navy SEAL. I got it.
well,
Best
it's like
friend
going back
of.
to Oliver North. Oliver North is a good example. Barry Seal got killed because of him, and he was a witness to all the stuff under the CIA. Terry Reid is still, I met him. I've got him on my website, a picture with him on my website, customscorruption.com, page 2. And he's still on the run, carrying a gun because of the Bushes. The dirtiest. They took all the gold out of Iraq. That's what they
Opposite
do.
George W. Bush, 214-692-4300.
What was that, his phone number?
Yeah,
214, I heard it.
692-4300.
Yeah, that's a 214. That's a Dallas area, I think.
Yeah. Well, Midland, off to the left, maybe? Midland area?
No, Dallas is 214. It's kind of, isn't it Crockett, Texas, or not Crockett?
Crawford.
No, it's
Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah, on the way to
down the road
Dallas.
from Crawford. So I
That's
worked
it.
for Marilyn Hoffman down the road from Bush's. Her family would go to all the balls and everything at the White House. She had a picture of her with Bush. And I had a couple chances on call-ins and stuff to say nice things about him, and I didn't. Boom, I got the hammer.
Well, you could see some interesting facial expressions on the Carter ceremony. the other
Bush
day.
looked like he had pain. That was a look of intense. There was
Anger.
something really intense, real intense,
Yeah, that was anger
or something.
or something else.
He was okay with Obama, but he definitely didn't like Trump, and he was pissed Obama was talking to Trump.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
It is.
He's probably making him a deal. Because Obama is the one that gave millions and millions, I forget how many billions, to Iran. That's all in the news. And then you got Biden pulling out of Afghanistan, leaving behind $85 billion worth of stuff plus money.
That was crazy.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of things, just like Congress. They use the intel to use as an extortion thing. Well, if you do this for us, we won't tell the other people in the United States about what you did with this other thing. It's a back and forth thing. While the tax slaves are constantly going to work every day to keep paying money to pay for their projects at ATMs in the Ukraine or something. You know, same stuff. It just irks me because this Muslim stuff that they're playing. Obama lives down on Kalorama Road, right around the corner from the biggest Muslim temple in Washington, D.C., which is just catty-corner to a place I used to protect at a Russian military attaché. So every time Kissinger would drive by, I would get to see him or something, you know, in that area. But I was there on midnights, frozen weather like right now in the wintertime too. But Steve, buy us something, man. Buy us something.
He's looking for a nice car for my birthday.
Steve, do you put power drink?
No.
Yeah,
you can't have
energy drink you got.
Get some of that Death Wish coffee and that other weird name water. They're coming out with the death stuff too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
They have
curse.
It's called Liquid Death.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never had.
And it's a water. Yeah, no,
The
stay
water.
away from it. Why would anybody want to drink something that says liquid death?
It's got a skull on it. I talked to a guy at the supermarket today. I said, "You guys got any of that over there?" And say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you ever tried it?" Say, "Yeah." Well, what's in it besides water? Is it real water? I say, "Yeah, it's water and tea." So it's water and tea.
Well,
But
you use
it
water
says
to
I remember
mountain
when it
water,
first came
but
out,
it's still drinking
the
water.
registered people, they were like saying 21 because they thought it was alcohol. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
There's other people buying it and stuff.
yeah.
That's why they kill people over 21. Here, go drink this. Well, look, guys, it's after 11 o'clock.
Oh, shoot.
So, oh, it's okay.
And I have a closing thought. I have a closing thought,
Okay.
Brenda.
Go ahead.
Okay. My closing thought is this. Ephesians 6:12. Because our wrestling is not with flesh and blood, but with the principalities and the authorities with this world and the rulers of darkness of this age, with the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So this is what we're up against, guys. A lot of demons. A lot of demons.
Of course.
Only the truth shall set you free.
Yeah, and I think it's been that way for quite a long time. So,
Yes.
since
the beginning.
I'm
You guys.
to
Were you
Think
guys
about-
able to follow what I was laying down?
Yes.
yeah,
You've got a lot of stuff there, though, Doug.
he does.
Yeah, a lot of information.
We
Well,
need to
the-
one day. We need to sit
real
with Doug.
quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but the Heroes and Friends Intel Op is what it was called. As I was overseas, they were saying, thank you, Doug, for teaching us the better way. As Bob Avila, Todd Bergen, and these guys were making videos, learning the better way, the way of horsemanship, dominating the planet today. And a lot of the original people are dead now. So Bob Avila's dead, John Slack's dead. Darren Stanzik's dead. Those are all three of the inner circle that, a huge part of my program came from Bob Avila. I grew up with Tony Garcia, Don Homer, Pat Mock, Richard Shrake, all these guys went to Loomis, etc., whatever. But a lot of it came from Bob Avila, and everyone, he was part of the original, everyone thinking that the horse and the cowboys were going to be the ones to come get the bad guys and do everything. And it's never happened. You know what I'm. So
Interesting.
Bob Avila is dead, and a lot of the people that know about the setting up of Andrea Papani, the Italian, Clinton Anderson, the Australian, they're all really healthy. Where a huge amount of the inner group is dead. The last one alive is Todd Bergen that actually worked for Bob. Me and Tom St. Hilaire, and maybe. There's a couple others, but it's just amazing how the people that set up what happened to me, so many of them, they're dead. That's the only way to put it.
Well, isn't there
Wow.
anybody continuing on right now?
What's that?
Is there anybody continuing on with the?
On the good side, you mean? On the good side?
Well, either side. I mean, I prefer to know all the bad guys too. If you had a bad guy list, but if they're continuing on with just their hanging around in groups and stuff, the tradition, they're still continuing the traditional.
Oh no, the Western performance scene's been pretty much rewritten by these people. You got the people that shut up and pretend they're like the Vaquero, like Buck Brenneman or whatever, or the trainers that just shut up and look the other way when the abuse is going on,
Right.
or pretty much they've been taken over. Most of the best American.
It's a
horsemen are
cowboy
dead.
mafia, Doug. There's a real cowboy mafia.
I want
The
a
symbol of
percentage of this
America is the
suggestion.
cowboy.
You got to get people from Japan. They will pay big money to go to a ranch, a dude ranch, wear a cowboy hat, jeans, boots, ride horses, maybe even show them how to shoot a 6-gun or something. That's a big deal with those people back there.
I can't even go near a gun after these people got done with me.
No, I know.
They're the ones killing my family and doing.
Oops.
Dang it.
Kicked
Okay.
off. Just because we said gun, right?
Probably.
Samurai sword.
Hang on. There you
All
are.
right. I'll shut up. Show's over.
I'll get nasty grams later. It's okay. I figured the last nasty gram I would get, I would say, "Oh, is this a birthday wish? Thank you, YouTube." Jerks. So, but Doug, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you or help you?
Yeah, Doug Phipps YouTube or Phipps Douglas or Doug Phipps on Facebook.
Okay.
You know,
And
I'm available for horse training lessons, sales, and clinics. I was rated one of the top 5 horsemen on the planet by the CIA. I'm not just able to get on a horse, feel it, and fix its issues or problems, but like literally everything from the way they're shod to being able to teach a beginner how to be a world champion. My riders dominate, and you know, any I've trained seem to rise all the way to the top that the last 20 years without me.
And John needs lots of help, everybody. John, you want to tell everybody?
Well, I got a Venmo account. If it's over a couple of $1,000, I'll give you my routing number. And if it's gold, you got to package it in between cardboard and stuff. So priority.
Right.
But my name John-Carmen at or 17, number 17 after John-Carmen 17. But yeah, it's a running joke there. Oh, cool. Saw that.
What's that? Steve,
I just want John to get Steven Seagal to help me make a movie, and this other guy to help me do a documentary, and I'll get him.
Well, hold on. He rode horses in that one movie. I can't remember the damn title now. Fire Down Below. So he played a guy that was connected to the Native Americans and the Eskimos, the Inuits, had horses in there. But I've seen him. I was invited. He flew me over to see him in Memphis because his daughter was sick and I was going to volunteer bone marrow. He had a pony right there. He was giving her a pony for her birthday. But she was doing good on the treatments, Chinese medicine and leukemia treatment stuff. So.
I would like John to set me up for Steven Seagal to do a love scene with me in a.
I think we just need to. I need to do a horse clinic at Susan's, and Seagal can come to the clinic.
Well, wait a minute. Last time I checked, he's down in Dubai.
What the
That
heck?
sounds like a heck of a deal.
Doug and I need to talk about some things, plus Dubai, and I'll put a word out on Brenda.
You know, you would be my best friend. Well, almost. Susie's my best friend, so you might be coming quite close, but you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, Brenda's my best friend.
Yeah. We are going to go ahead and call it a wrap. I'm not sure if maybe Steve and I might jump on here tomorrow and do something or whatnot. The person that I wanted to get a hold of me to do a show tomorrow night, I haven't heard from. So I'm still waiting to see what happens as far as Putin. Norma says, step aside, I'm first.
Here, give this to him.
Norma, we have to share.
We can have more best friends.
Share. No, she's talking about Seagal. I know what she's talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, friends too. Okay.
You know, he's tall enough for the both of us, Norma. John, what is this?
It's pain medicine. You roll it on your muscle, you know, and it kind of helps. Like lidocaine.
Okay.
I don't use it that often, but once in a while when I remember, I do it.
Is it a drink?
No, it's a roll-on. It's a roll-on.
Oh, where do you get it at?
Over the counter.
Amazon?
Okay.
No,
so
you
I
could
am
probably,
not
but it's over the counter.
I'm not going to
2.5
roll
ounces.
lidocaine on a dog's leg because he'll lick it. then his tongue and his throat will become numb. And God only knows whatever else will happen to him. We don't put that on dogs.
You don't
John.
tell him. Don't tell him.
I
You're
don't
supposed
have
to
any
say, "Look
control
over there."
over what he does.
Just
Tell
wrap
him,
up
"Look
his
over
leg
there."
and keep him. Yeah.
He won't know it. You divert him. Divert him.
He sticks his nose. Anything I go near him with, he's got to have his nose right there in it. I
Stick
have
some
to
hot
give him
pepper on
approval.
it.
I do it even
Mix
for
it with
food.
hot pepper.
Oh, now
Tabasco.
Look, my poor baby's in enough pain.
Serrano peppers. Ground up seeds.
He's too little. Leave him alone. Quit trying to harm my little puppy. He's already doggone groomers. I'm gonna say this. I think they threw him around. Poor little baby. 5 pounds, Doug. 5 pounds. He was fine when he went. Nice, Steve. He was fine when he went to the groomers, and he came home with a bad limp and can't put any pressure on his rear
There's an
left
Indian arrowhead I found in Wisconsin.
Oh, is that Baby Yoda in a black belt?
What is
that,
this, show and tell?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Smurf with a black belt. Uh-oh. Yeah. Ah, Smurfy.
You got to have a black belt Smurf, you know.
Black belt Smurf. Norma said, John, you're naughty.
My black belt's over there. But
Do you have Norma's number too and call her? She just said you're naughty. Norma? I'm still alive. Norma. She said, John, you're naughty.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, he must have your number, Norma.
Have we talked? I don't know. Wait, let me check my phone.
Be scared. Be very scared. You got to know how to handle John. You got to talk his lingo. I talk his lingo, so it's okay. I can deal with it.
Wait a minute. What's the last name for Norma?
I don't.
Is she Native American? American?
She's Norma, you're American, aren't you?
Native
She's over here going, I'm not giving you my number, John. You're naughty.
I've already got it. I've already got it right here. Somebody.
Somebody. It might be you, Norma. It might.
Middle initial S. No, it's got to be a different one. It's got to be a different one. Yatahe.
Boy, oh boy.
Ishkanishkanishkana.
Yeah. All right, guys. I know we lost Ivy because she has to go over to the other show that's coming on. Oh no, she does spiritual cryptid encounters too for Abe. So I know that's where they're at right now because I do believe Abe has got a show right now. Let's see.
There you go.
Let's see. Is he? Because yep, he sure does. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get out of here. Wait, Norma said no, yes, and laugh.
No, yes, laugh,
No, yes,
nope, laugh.
Nope. So you were hitting on
Norma,
something
you're
where
funny.
she said yes, and then she laughed, nope, and then she laughed again. So I don't know what you did. But all right, everybody. We're going to get out of here.
Love you guys. Love y'all.
Yes. Thank you,
Right.
Doug,
Bye-bye.
for coming on. We like having you on, Doug. We got to get you come back. I told Susie that the other day. I said, oh, we haven't talked to Doug in a while. We got to get Doug back. She goes, I just talked to him and told him to come on the show Friday. I was like, oh, okay.
Right?
I
That's
need
what
to
happened.
get someone skilled to take these recordings and put them in an order, and then it all becomes, I'm not telling my story. These people are.
Right.
Yeah, because I have the recordings. I'll have to sit and
Steve
listen
would
to
be
them.
good at that. Steve's real good.
Probably. Yeah,
Steve, you could do that.
Steve
Yeah,
is our
I'm
only
putting it together.
computer not so stupid person. The rest of us.
Send me an email, Doug. We'll talk. We'll exchange phone numbers or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
Talk
my
some real
email.
stuff.
You can
Yes,
get
my-
it. You can get it if you want Doug to have your number. Either Susie or I can get it to him.
Well, I prefer to do an email first because with all the
Okay.
email
All right.
thing first.
All right. Yeah,
Okay,
we
yeah,
can do
mine's
email
Doug
too.
at gmail.com.
Huh?
Okay.
Mine's just my name at gmail.com.
Well, mine's almost the same. john.a.carman@gmail.com.
I see
I'll
Stephen.
never
No
remember
dots or
it. Thank
spaces.
you.
No dots.
No, I'm gonna go now. I get my neck.
Your full name, Doug, and that's it.
Doug Phipps at gmail.com.
Okay.
Hey, BCC me, damn it. That'll work.
L-U-G, P as in Paul, H-I double P as in Paul, S.
All right, I'm gonna say good night. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Good
Good night,
night,
everybody.
Thank you.
And everybody out there who's watching, watch for the notifications for tomorrow, just in case. You know, I might get a burst of energy and decide I want to come and talk about I don't even know what, but you never know. You never know. Although Susie and I have to make another show because we found out that not only did Moses have horns, but we found out that Noah
had horns.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out this whole
Bunch of-
horn scenario thing and exactly what it means. So we're going to do some stuff on that because I was like, no, wait a minute. So yeah, we got to try to enlighten people because I'm really confused.
Norma said, Steve, you need to do the documentary on Doug. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Doug.
That'll be a lot easier than doing a documentary on Alt House.
Yeah.
I'd have to talk to the guy for the next 10 years before anything gets done.
Oh my God. All right.
Right.
Probably.
I have
We need
stuff to
Doug to
show
help
them.
you.
I have
get-
stuff about Tom Althouse that I'll be
Oh,
sharing.
I know. We got to get with that. Did you do any reading by any chance?
Possibly.
Oh,
Possibly.
you're exciting me, Steve. I'm curious now. But all right, everybody. Y'all have
right,
a
everybody.
good night. If we don't see you tomorrow, then have a good week. And like always, Norma's like, Steve, right? Norma wants to know. Norma, you will be the first one in the know. So, y'all, like always, please be kind to one another, and we will see you later. Have a good night. Norma says,
Night.
please do share. We will. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.